And let's dig into IBM first, because Ginny Rometty being accused of hypocrisy here.
Yes, alternative facts are not limited to White House press conferences, apparently. The notion that IBM is hiring and making press releases, indeed talking at Trump Tower, meeting at Trump Tower at that time with President-elect Donald Trump, talking about adding jobs and spending $1 billion to do so. But at the same time, as Bloomberg News has reported, the company has been cutting jobs and cutting them rather aggressively. In fact, if you look at the number of employees for this company, what we've seen, look right there, we're seeing pictures of Ginny Rometty at Trump Tower, as I mentioned. She was part of the president's transition team. It looked really good to have that company out with a press release saying that they'd be hiring more in the U.S. and that they'd be spending $1 billion in worker training. And yet, nonetheless, what we see IBM doing is actually cutting. The number of employees has been declining dramatically over her tenure as CEO, as at the same time that the revenue per employee has been declining. If we go to the Bloomberg terminal, we actually type in this great command called loss. Just type in IBM loss, and what you see is a list of all of the job cuts IBM. We can scroll through there. Oops, as I make my screen tiny, we can scroll through there deftly. And the list just goes on and on and on. But if you look at this chart, there's a circle every time they've whacked at the jobs. And what has happened to the stock price, as you can see, coming down over time, even as they've been buying back shares, they've been cutting jobs. That's one other way to look and visualize those job cuts.
You would have thought the share price would tick up if they're taking out costs, but maybe
well,
not.
And lowering the number of shares out there, so earnings per share gets higher, and even then it hasn't helped a ton.